Hey guys, welcome back. So we're here for the Banner Saga today, which has been a long time coming for me. I've been meaning to do a series for this for quite a bit of a time now, and they've announced the release date in April for Banner Saga 2, so I guess this is finally lighting a fire under my ass to get this series started, because I now have a time limit. So, once upon a time, when this channel was brand new and I was way less dedicated to it, I actually did a series on this game 2 years ago or so, when it was brand new. Did not finish it, unfortunately, back in a time where it was harder for me to do so, but obviously I'm going to finish it now. And hey, I don't remember that much from it, so I get to go in mostly fresh, honestly. But it's a cool little game, so I'm happy to be coming back to this finally, and I'll be playing Banner Saga 2 when it comes out in April. Blah, blah, blah. I haven't marked on my calendar, I swear, I just don't remember what it is. The story in the Banner Saga changes based on the choices you make. You will occasionally switch between lead characters, witnessing the story unfold from different perspectives. This is it was a Kickstarter game from ex-BioWare developers. The gods are dead. In their wake, man and giant survived through a tenuous alliance, driving black destroyers called Dredge deep into the northern wastes. Now is an era of growth and trade. Life goes on. Only one thing has stopped. The sun.
Sjá dreggjana á ferli meðal vor. It has been several long months on the road. The first signs of snowfall accost us on our approach to Strand, largest of the trade cities on the varl-human borders, and our last collection before returning to the capital. Several days ago, the sun simply came to a stop in the sky. Though during these long winter days, none of us can be certain how long it has been this way. Some of the men in the caravan have taken it as a dire omen. I am not quick to superstition, but I myself will be glad to be done with this year's rounds. We have been warned by stranded travelers about brigands on the path through Ridgehorn, our road home. Our captain seems unconcerned. Perhaps he is as eager as I to be done here. We will rest here this day and inquire further when we speak to the governor.
Oh, you guys done goofed. You've arrived just in time. The chieftain in red and his men are now looking at a tougher fight than they bargained for. Drag across the screen to see your surroundings. Check mark to continue. Yeah. This is the drag. Whoa! Faster drag than I expected it to be. This is order of initiative. Allies are blue, enemies are red, left to right. It's just turn order. Movement before action. The ring and the shield bearer is active. Blue tiles are random where we can move. Yellows are where we can attack, I'm sure. Some characters fill more tiles than others because we have all these giants around. The horned allies are a race of giants called varl, who take up 4 tiles each. Click the tile you want to move to, then click the check mark to confirm. Move your shield banger here and get him to into attack range. Here we go. This game is very click heavy and low and light on hotkeys, if I can remember correctly, specifically because I think it was, I don't know if it ever happened, but it definitely felt like it was designed for tablets eventually, at least. To target your enemy, click on the tile where they stand. Enemies are blue, allies are blue, enemies are red. That's straightforward. Hit him. You can choose to either attack the enemy's strength or break his armor. The numbers beneath each icon, 2 and 5, show the damage you'll do to that stat. If I remember correctly, armor reduces how much damage they're going to take, but their strength is how much health they have before they die, and I think strength also affects how much damage they're going to do with their attacks themselves. Strength counts as both health and damage. Yep. At loss of 2 strength, that means you do 2 less damage. Armor blocks damage, but can be reduced by a break attack. By breaking armor, you can open up the enemy to more damage in the future. Enemy has 5 remaining. Taking out 5 will kill him. And then there's the extra power I could use, but that's not necessary right now. And down he goes. +1 renown. That's the XCOM style, you killed a guy, get your experience thing. So you have to be careful about who's getting kills if you want to level up specific characters. He's down. Each time you make a kill, your renown grows, which is used later to improve your characters. After taking an action, your turn ends. Next up is the enemy. Turns always alternate, even if you're outnumbered. That's one of the weird things about this game they have to very carefully pay attention to, is the fact that the ally and enemy teams always have an equal number of moves, no matter how many troops there are, which is really strange. That means if you have one guy, they get to act every other turn against 5 different guys that are only acting every like 10th turn at that point. Despite being full strength, the chieftain will do little damage against your shield bearer's high armor. Shield banger. So much armor. Alright, now it's your warhawk's turn. He appears to be out of range of these enemies, but all characters can use willpower to boost their actions. Willpower is a limited resource, so use it wisely. That's the star we had earlier. By clicking the gold tiles, the character will move further than usual. That was my mistake. I thought the yellow was... I mistook that for attack range, because that's what it's often represented as, but that's your willpower. We can spend extra willpower to move further. So this will cost me 2 willpower. Currently I have 8. Standard attacks only affect a single enemy, but your Warhawk has a special ability that gives him a unique advantage. Click your Warhawk's tile to see his ability. There it is, Tempest. Clicking your character's tile will bring up all of his combat options, including move, ability, attack, and end turn. Click the purple arrow, the purple ability icon now. This is called Heavy Impact. Enemies adjacent to the target take 1 strength damage. Tempest 1. Normal strength damage to 2 adjacent enemies, starting from target and going clockwise. So we're going to want to pick the one on the top. So you click on an enemy to confirm your choice. Yep. Hey guys. Bye. Nice try and all that though. Did I hit him from here? No, he just has no armor. My bad. They made quick work of that chieftain's bodyguards. When there is only one enemy left, players enter Pillage Mode. During Pillage, each character moves in order, and there are no more guaranteed turns. Check the initiative to see how the order has changed. Your allies now get to move twice in a row. Okay, so that the specific case of one person getting to move every turn does not apply. There has to be 2. That was my mistake. If a character does not move on his turn, he can rest to gain 1 willpower. The chieftain will rest this turn. That's a really bad idea. Looks like the chieftain's in some trouble. Your shieldbringer won't be able to finish the job with a normal attack, but willpower can be used to boost your damage. Alright. So he has 9 health, so we use willpower to increase our damage by 1. Let's see. The number of stars available each turn is determined by your exertion stat. So even though we have 5 willpower, at the moment we can only use 1. I believe exertion's probably it's the broken chain icon. So we do have these bonus points, but you have a stat that governs how quickly you can use them. The art of this game is beautiful. 5 renown.
Like a rabid wolf, that one. How did it come to this? We fool ourselves believing that peace will last. My grandfather built all this from a poor fishing village, you know. He watched the gods die, Watched the chaos that followed. Watched man and varl slaughter each other, even before the dreads arose. All we've done is traded one struggle for another. Now that there are no more dreads to war against, we war against ourselves. This chieftain meant to kill me, and he's not the first. A dozen families in the city would gladly take my chair. This one had men waylaying merchants, both north and south of the city, strangling trade, quite well, I would add, though he denied it to his lust. This sort of wolf doesn't stop biting because the head is cut off, it just grows a new head. I am in a bad way, my friend. Help me finish this fight, and I'll gladly send you on your way with double our king's tithe. Take any men you need. They're loyal. I promise you that. They will meet you down in the proving grounds.
Chapter 1. Only the sun has stopped. Nice little animation, but its pacing felt a little off. I get this feeling they recorded a bunch of lines for that actor, but then the animators or something just crushed them all together instead of having them have little pauses between them, because it was like weirdly unnaturally fast. There's not much voice acting in this game, so that won't really be happening a lot. Instead, it'll be me having the unnatural line deliveries, so I shouldn't say anything. You're approached by a familiar man who walks in step with you as you're leaving the Great Hall. He cuts to the chase. Eric, Steward of Strand. I manage the governor's business. Ubin, isn't it? It is. The governor tells me you'll be giving us a hand. What did you have in mind? Scalfings that you didn't hack up in the Great Hall scattered after you took out their chieftain. The governor just wants to make sure they stay down. Was hoping you'd join me at the marketplace by the docks. If there's anyone left to worry about, I know who can tell us. So now we just need to look for other rebels in the area that are going to try to attack everybody. Here's the merchant. Let me handle this. You meander through rows of open-faced houses and eroded stalls. Colored canvases flap on a briny current. One man, in particular, blanches as you approach. Ad, I'm not in the mood today. For what? Talking to an idiot. The Scalfing's chieftain bled out about an hour ago, Had. So, when you tell me that the rat anus that the rest of them crawled back into, nobody's going to try to kill you this time. They don't talk to me. I don't have the patience for this. Had sweats visibly, fumbling with some dirty trinkets on his table. Wait, just buy one of these. If everybody thinks I'm getting worked over every week, how am I supposed to know much? Just a little food money, yeah? Pay him. You toss a sliver of silver on the table. Both men look at you with surprise. Had gestures meekly to a variety of junk from his stall. Take whatever you like. Only thing I'd like is the name of a place. Nobleman. Up by the east wall. But that was months ago, last I know. Had skulks away with a wave of Eric's hand, gathering things from his hovel, disappearing for a while until he blows you over. You figure. Your bodyguard steps forward. Are we done here? Gunnulf, were you wearing green back at the Great Hall? No. Just bought them while you were walking around. Why? You look like a frog. Better than an eggplant. Gunnulf goes off to look at more stalls. Eric, that man of yours seems unreliable at best. A blind dog wouldn't trust Had, but he used to be Scalfing. If they're licking their wounds, they've probably gone to old haunts, not the new ones. Nobleman is a mead hall? Best I can tell, the name's ironic. Listen, I know a guy who would love to put a few of these skulls in the ground. I'm gonna find him. I'll meet you there. So where is this place again? Nobleman is halfway up the hill, towards the Great Hall. You won't miss it. Just make sure the governor remembers his promise. Double the usual tithe. I'll remind him. There's the mead house. You arrive in front of what must be noblemen. A few minutes later, Eric appears with a weather-beaten man introduced as Valgard. I'll point them out, Eric says over his shoulder. Ready? You're walking in through the front door. They ran to the mead house, says Valgrad. I'll be surprised if they can stand up straight right now. Okay, here we go. Valgrad boots the front door open so hard it won't close again without repair. As you enter the hall, Eric is already at the head of the table, his axe drawn. Wide-eyed, drunken scalping scramble to find their own weapons, turning tables and mead steins in the process. Here we go. Oh, there's a lot more of them now. 7 of them, but as we've gone over, and having more numbers isn't necessarily an advantage for at least for a number of turns. And it looks like our character Ubin is going to be hanging out in the background just like he was before, not necessarily taking active part in the fight. Click a unit to deploy them into any of the blue tiles. When all units are satisfactorily deployed, click the ready button to start the battle. So I can actually move these characters around as I see fit, for example, which is handy. I kind of like the idea of giving these big, tough characters a little room to maneuver, just because the little guys can get in the way a little bit of their ability to charge in and get a bunch of attention. It's early in the game, so I don't have a lot of basis for strategy yet, especially since I don't even know what some of these characters' abilities are this early on. Hello, new friend. Here's Valgard. So we can just run up to them and look at them. It's going to be butchery. Oops. Good to click in front of them first. So we have an attack. We have Stonewall. Blocks 3 damage per hit for 1 round, which is not bad if you think you're going to get a lot of attacks coming in. Let's go ahead and head into melee range. What do I get if I try to attack this guy? We can hit him for 5 damage. I can bump it up to 7, but that's not going to quite get the job done. Though it might not be a bad idea for the beginning of the fight to just get that burned through. Let's see. I think I'm just going to commit to the attack for now. There we go. There's a nice pacing to the fact that every other action is yours, because it means you're not constantly waiting for the enemy turn to play out. Instead, it's my fault that the fight takes a while. Our skill is Rally. Gives 2 willpower to an ally at any range, so he can just hang out and give people more willpower that makes them do extra attacks. The problem there is that he still takes up one of our turns, so if he's not actively fighting, he can be holding us back a bit, which is a bummer. But our range is not great, especially since he doesn't seem to have any extra range. Any ranged attack, I mean. So I can spend willpower going up to him, approaching the enemy, and that's about it. And we can't attack diagonally, so it seems like a bit of a waste. So instead, I think I'll just stay back and use that rally ability on one of our scarier characters. And I think this is where I find out that you can't go past your cap, can you? No, it says 7 out of 15, 7 out of 5, so it must have... Maybe it didn't work. You learn. Alright. This character's abilities are... Return the favor. Getting hit triggers a counterattack for 1 armor damage. Looks like that happens automatically, though. I'm gonna go ahead and let him use a willpower to approach. And get that attack in. Only 3 damage is not fantastic, but he's a defensive character. That was 5, never mind. Alright, you. You got the big, scary attacks. So we can get a lot done with you. But the enemies are still in the way, so Tempest is pointless because no one else should be in range, correct? So we'll go in for a normal. And he's flattened. Well, there's a downside. I took a lot of damage, but he made the mistake of doing an attack that was a flurry of blows. So that should have caused a series of counterattacks. I guess it didn't. It says getting hit triggers a counterattack for 1 armor damage. No, he still seems to be full up on armor damage, on armor too. Maybe I'm misinterpreting part of how that works. We've got time to figure it out. Anyway, I'm just going to press forward to these guys, because our friend over here could do a lot to help out with this crowd, I think. But these guys are going to be a problem. Hello, friend. Oh. Oh, wow. He's got an active counter of his own, doesn't he? Alright. Yeah, I can sneak in there. Even finish this guy off before he gets more actions off. Only one, huh? Oh, we can at least we can beat it up a little bit more. There we go. Good start. We just need our big guy to get a turn. Only one. Bummer. Not quite the berserker our other character is. Oh, you're gonna get in my way, aren't you? Oh, you son of a bitch. Alright, so he actually really messed with my distribution of power here. Oh, that is a bummer. Okay. I was gonna get right up in there in their flank and attack two of them at once. And he very specifically got in my way. And that is a bummer. Yep, that's just not gonna work. Alright, well, we'll go for the attack. We have one character that's pretty good at taking people out, and the adjacent attack helped out. I just couldn't get in my spin that I was going for. Here we go. Oh, they're distributing themselves a bit better now. It's Eric's turn again. They're both relatively healthy at the moment. So rally is probably the best call to some extent, but really, at this point the fight's going to be over before it matters. So attacks are going to be what I go for here. There we go. That'll take him down. Oh, they're both charging through. He went down quickly. Thankfully, this guy will be down in one hit. This guy's comically strong. He'll be down in one hit, and his neighbor should get hit too. Ending the fight, I think. Yep. Alright, your foe's lying dead at your feet. Alright, we have a promotion for Gonulf. You'll be seeing a lot of those. I'll be spending a lot of time killing with that specific character, I think. There they are, gods be damned. I've got to go wash off this blood. Eric is looking out of the hall's window onto the bay. A fleet of longships approach with sails of bold reds and blues. One banner I know well, Wagner. Next for varl kingship last we spoke. The other flag? Looks important. Yeah, important guess. See what I do with all day long? Ah. Things make a little more sense. Things makes a little more sense? That's a little... That just seems like weird phrasing. You hoped I'd have a stake in saying everything's fine here when the royal guests arrived. Not me, the governor. Now I have to make sure that there are no rotting bodies or pools of entrails still in the Great Hall before they come by. Can I ask one more favor? What is it? If you happen to stall our guests down at the docks, I wouldn't object. Maybe I will. Eric and Valgard hustle from the mead house. To his credit, Eric tosses the barkeep a spar of silver for the mess. You give an apologetic shrug and go to greet the new arrivals down at the docks. There they are. That's a large fleet coming in. Alright, so this is our army information up here. We have 14 renown overall, 100 days of supplies, Oregon trail style, and we have exactly 32 soldiers total, which are all varl, so they're all large units, but no other types. Let's go down to those docks. Wagner. A familiar varl steps onto the docks. In your mind, you recall a much younger version tramping the halls of Grofheim, abundant in purpose. Gods, Euban, you're looking ancient. Comes with being old, and if there is a Wagner here, if there's Wagner, there must be Hakon. Must there? Still bleeding tributes from the poor and the stupid, old yaks. At what age do you lose a sense of shame? Jorundur demands it. I'll take that over lingering to death in Grofheim. Speaking of, I had no sense that you were so far from home. Just returned from Aberrung, in fact. And glad for it. Hakon motions to the other ships in the bay, sails still fluttering. Golden wolf head emblemized in red. The king of men, or someone on his behalf. The king's whelp. The king's son, Ludin. Don't you know, Scrivener? We visit his capital, he visits ours. It's how we make alliances these days. It's a miserable waste of time. Yes, Hakon has it. I'd almost forgotten. It's a good thing you're around, Hakon. Then you're going to Grofheim. I have a distinct feeling I've finished my business in Strand and was heading there myself. We should caravan. We should. Give it a day. In better circumstances, I'd drink a week away, but, let's just be done. Find me tomorrow at the gates. What he's trying to say is the prince is a delight to behold. Where is Moger? Hakon, have him find a place to put up the warriors. I'm heading out to meet the governor. A host of giants depart in his wake. You recognize a few. Others are strangers to you. Guess I'm off to find Moger. See you in the morning, Scrivener. I'll be along. The young prince of men ambles from his ship. He brushes off his tunic, scanning the beach with low eyelids. Ludin looks for all the world the sort of boy who grew up pulling the legs off from spiders. The long road back to Grofheim should be more interesting than most years, you think? Weariness suddenly settles in, and you chuckle to yourself about what an odd day it has been. One of the governor's men at the Great Hall could find you a place to sleep. On the other hand, if you're going to join Vognar's caravan tomorrow, it might not hurt to share a drink with Hakon or introduce yourself to the prince they spoke so highly of. Let's go meet new people. So we can go to these two places to meet these other characters, or there to actually go into the Great Hall. They didn't have the highest opinion of the prince, to be honest. Hakon seems kind of insufferably negative, but hey, let's do it. Probably likes me a bit more. Scrivener. You find Hakon in a mead house surrounded by their varl. Strand is no stranger to varl, but rarely sees this many. Hakon waves you over. Went straight for a flagon. Vognar's the one who agreed to pass up a drink. I wasn't invited to the governor's hall anyway. You already missed the massacre. Every year I make the rounds collecting taxes. Every year it's the human settlements that give me trouble. No surprise. What this time? When I got here, the Great Hall was already full of bodies. We added a few more. Ha! Humans. I guess if I only lived as long as a Yox fart, I might be desperate to make something for myself too. It's not too late to start trying, Hakon. Hakon lets slip a low chuckle. Any varl could recount his deeds, known as he is for cutting a swath through dredge at Vognar's side in the Second War, and regularly since then. Down here I'm a glorified bodyguard. You might have a point. Just another reason to get back to Grofheim. Soon enough, I imagine. You drink until the mead house becomes overbearing, then step back into the cold air outside. That's nice. So he's got a background of being just this famed warrior that just cuts his way through exactly the type of monsters that we're going to be encountering, I'm sure. The dredge. He might be a good person to put alongside Gunnar, who has that really effective sort of berserker blade that he's been using so far. Here's the prince. He's probably great. Is this the right place? You find the prince at an inn. Guards blanket the building, including a sharp-eyed varl who must be working for Ludin. A woman in red eventually waves you over and stands nearby, arms crossed. Greetings, Prince Ludin. Yes? You're the Vogner. I don't remember you. Not exactly. I've known Vogner a long time. I'll be joining you back to Grofheim with my guards. Ludin looks up for the first time. The woman doesn't react. Why? I work for the king, carrying ties to the capital. We crossed by chance. Oh, a tax collector. Fine company. What do you want? Just to introduce myself. You collect taxes for the Varl territories, a true pleasure. Yes. An awkwardness hangs in the air like a thick fog. You take the opportunity to depart. Alright. So, I'm role-playing a socially awkward man. That's fitting. At dawn, you're awoken by a delivery of goods. At least, you think it's dawn. Damn hard to tell with a sun that never moves. The governor's crest adorns the supply leathers. All there, just as promised, to your mild surprise. You wonder if Eric has anything to do with that. 20 renown, just like that. That's more than we got from the 2 fights we already did. Your guards take the treasure wagon down to the gates. Wagner's already there. A while later, Ludin and his men appear, groggy and disheveled. Moger steps forward. Wagner's quartermaster. If you recall correctly, in charge of his unwieldy entourage of warriors, you know him only in passing. He asks if you're ready to depart. We're ready. You follow Moger and the others, and join the others. Usually, the smaller doors set into the gates would be enough to enter or leave the city, but the town guards have been told to push them open entirely. They mutter things under their breath that are best not heard. Perhaps the governor expected you to draw a crowd, but there's nothing of the sort. Just frustrated, tired people. It summarizes Strand well as a whole, you think? They had to open the giant doors because they had to let giants through instead of through the little tiny doors that are everywhere. And so we continue on our adventure. And this is how the traveling generally looks in this game, is this thing where you can see the time progressing on the map, and we have a specific resource count. Now we have 85 fighters, being humans, and 366 varl, which are the giants. But we have 66 days of supplies. That's actually less than we had before. I thought we had 100 before. We had 100 before, didn't we? We shouldn't be down that low unless we just dropped off a bunch of supplies. The caravan stops for the day. A gift, says Moger, cracking open mead casks. From our gracious friend, the governor of Strand. Hours pass with raucous laughter as the mead is passed through the camp. Toast to Wagner. You raise your drink, toasting it in alliance between man and varl. The others join in. Ludin's expression is like a stone wall, but the others laugh at your exaggerations. Eventually you sit down beside Wagner. Let's chat with Wagner. Thanks for the speech, slurs Wagner. Oh, that's all I got. Oh, here we go, never mind. I thought that was the whole dialogue for a second. Looks like you didn't have to miss out after all. Thanks to Moger. I thought the damned governor would never shut up. Did he give you the history of his entire family? He tried. Then he asked me to clean up his mess. For your benefit, turns out. I'd have given the job to you, too. Gods, there's no joy in politics. Speaking of, what happens after this business with Ludin? Hopefully the boy goes back to Aberang on his own, and I can take out some frustration on Dredge or something. Starting to sound like Hakon. You don't like the life of a diplomat? Ha ha! Don't you miss the fight, Ubin? You down your meat instead of replying. Wagner slouches and shakes his head. There's no great joy in killing Dredge, but this... Pretty sure this nonsense is some scheme between the two kings to force some kind of lineage. Used to be, warriors would follow you for what you've done. Isn't that why they follow you now? Is it? Or is it because I'm the next in line? These lines are getting muddy, old varl. They've always been muddy, Wagner. Wagner stares from the campfire. Lost in thought, you leave him to it. They've got well-written little characters here. It'd be nice if there was voice acting to tell them all apart a little better, because I'm not some great talent there. But at the very least, they all have a nice little tone to how they're written, where their actual lines stand out from each other in a cool way. You rise groggily. The campsite, a casualty of merriment. Moger is already kicking warriors awake when you spot Ludin stalking your direction. He sidesteps sleeping bodies. Better wake up, you nudge Wagner. You're needed. Ah, it's Ludin. Always a pleasure. You look well rested. Wagner releases a caged yawn and receives a hard-eyed stare in return. How long to Grofheim? Ha! We're only 2 days out of Strand, you know. Come, I'll show you a map. So we're 2 days out of Strand. How long is the trip to the town itself? Here we are. World map. Drag the map to look around. A portrait icon shows where your caravan is in the world. You can also tap on any location to get some history about it. When you're done with the map, press X at the bottom of the screen. Alright? So we just left... Is that Strand? There it is. Strand. As close as anything comes to a bastion of racial tolerance. Both men and varl compete to scratch out a living in this, the biggest trade city along the west coast. Many people still believe the god Dengler still watches over it, granting good fortune. And we're looking for Grolfheim. There it is. The last home of the varl and the seat of their power. Founded by Arfinir, the second varl king. Though the varl has moved around a lot, most consider Grolfheim to be their capital. The deeds of varl are honored here, and all the warriors of worth are buried at the foot of the two spears, where they are said to become part of Valsmarch itself. That's our vague locations. We are this far in 2 days. So, just looking at the map itself, I would estimate probably a good, maybe we probably have a good, 18 days left to go. It's hard to say because there's terrain and non-linear pathing and everything, and so on. We head north, then east, past the forts. Grolfheim's far from Strand. Going to be a long march. You should have drank last night, Ludin. Why not take the ships to Skirm instead? What's the point of marching? The Silverstone Bay is called that for a reason. It stays covered in ice all year. It would tear up the longships. Too bad, though. We could have shown you all the wonders of Skirmerstead. A half-sunken city crawling with dredge, Prince. Dredge and glaciers. You like glaciers? Ludin exhales through the nose, a poor disguise of his contempt. He turns and bats aside the tent flaps as he goes, barking at his company in the distance. Don't poke the anthill, Wagner. He seems no happier to be here than you. Spend a few more days with the boy, old friend. You'll be looking for a tall cliff to hop off to. Ludin's got a shorter wick than Hakon. Thanks, Wagner. Let's get moving. Another half day to Vederfell if we're lucky. All these little personalities are nice. Camp. Camp is where you manage your caravan. During travel, you can enter camp at any time by tapping the camp button on the travel HUD. While at camp or in towns, you can upgrade your allies or equip items in the hero's tent. You can pass time by using the rest tent. Resting will improve the caravan's morale. A high morale will reduce casualties in war and affect your willpower in combat. Each passing day will use supplies, so only rest when necessary. The training tent will allow you to safely try out any characters in a mock battle. Tap leave at the bottom of the campsite when you're ready to go back to the road. Alright, let's go to the hero's tent first of all, because we want to level up some characters. Looks like everyone has a point to spend. Click on unit to view stats, promote ranks, and learn about their abilities. Gunnulf? This character is immediately interesting to me because of what he has. Let's promote him. Alright. So, the greatest warriors in the battlefield are those who live past their first battles to start a journey down the path of legend. So you can get higher stats and increase your item rank. Continue. You sure want to promote for 5 renown? I believe so, yes. There we go. So it gives us 2 points available to spend. We can increase his attack. We can increase his ability to spend his influence each turn. Not influence, his willpower. Let's see. He has 5 kills. When Ubin became the Varl King's tax collector, he was given an entourage of bodyguards to help transport gold across Thrawn. Gunnulf is the only one from the original group still alive, and for good reason. He also likes to wear funny green and orange clothes that he randomly bought in a store, and will probably spend the rest of the game in. Alright, so he has 5 kills, which appears to be how much he needs to promote in the first place, or... No, I think he needed 2 kills before and 5 now? Yeah. So you need to get kills with your characters in order to level them up. So that's why it's easier to justify promoting this guy, because he got a lot of kills already. Higher stats, improve your ability, increase your item rank. Bam. I'm happy to do it because he's a strong character. I'm gonna be pouring renown to this guy, I'm sure. So that gives us 4 points to spend. Let's see. Click on the ability button. Oh, they wanted me to click here specifically. Oh, they're showing me more about Tempest. So we can rank up Tempest, hit more and more enemies. It starts out at 2, goes up to 3 and 4. But I apparently can't put points into it, or I just did on accident. No, I haven't. It was already at 2. So I can hit 3 enemies, and I can put another point into it at some point in the future. So this is the defensive stat. This is his strength, which also affects his health. This is his willpower, which is, his will is how much he can boost his abilities. This is how much he can boost per turn. And this is his ability to damage shields. Both very tempting. I'm going to start off with a point into armor and strength, which both seem noteworthy because one helps him do damage and keeps him healthy. So it's kind of an all-around good stat. It's like this is like an all-in-one warrior stat. It's actually a little weird how powerful they made one stat, because it's how much damage you do and how long you last in combat combined. It's unusual to combine those into one point. But being able to spend more per turn could also be handy. And a little bit of armor breaking. Let's see. I think I'll just go for raw damage, honestly. Let that stand for now. But we'll invest elsewhere otherwise. But we need to get all the way up to 9 kills for the next points, and also make sure we actually have the willpower to spend, which may be more of a problem. There we go, level 3, everyone else is level 1. Should be a good start, though. So remaining spots, there's our resting location, training location, and leaving. I'm curious, do we have any items right now? I guess it would have probably shown up right here. Here we go. Yep, items can be equipped by dragging them into the portraits. They'd be apparently listed down here. So I just don't have any items yet. Wouldn't mind resting a little bit. So I think everyone's low on willpower. 3 out of 11. 5 out of 10. In general, their willpower is low, and their willpower increases their effectiveness in combat by a significant margin, because if you can just pour some willpower into some early attacks, you can get yourself with an early advantage. So I think I do want to rest. What was the effect here? 3 out of 11. No one actually got any more willpower. That's a bummer. Only cost me 1 day though, right? I'll try it one more time. Just trying to get a feel for the pace at which this actually helps people. 3 out of 11, 5 out of 10. Well, that's discouraging. I don't want to just blow days resting. I think I might just continue. So I don't think I want to train. I don't think the skills are so complicated that I need to do that right now.
Wedderfell. Even the name means bad weather, where frozen wind sweeps in from the bay. They tend livestock, but most are just men driven from Strand with nowhere else to go. Why else would anyone stay? We won't stop long.
Those are a lot of varl. It has to be an intimidating sight for anyone as we go by. By Hardbog. That's a lot of varl for some missing cattle. What? A couple days back, sent wood to Strand about the cattle. Didn't expect an army. He looks pleased with himself until it sinks in that you aren't here on his behalf. Where have your cattle gone? Wouldn't know. My boys sent men up the hills carrying them away. Don't know many men who can hoist a whole cow by himself. Scalfings out here, maybe? Could they have varl working for them? Not from what the governor told me. I'm gonna take a look around and get the camp set up. The peasant spits, his eyes anxiously darting around as the caravan sets up tents. We'll be here for no more than a day. There's a silver for any food you've got. For hundreds of varl? Are you serious? Whatever you're willing to sell. You thinking of squatting? Not enough room for a couple hunters here. Forget hundreds of... Shut up. Hear that? Where's Ludin? It's faint. Sounds like fighting and... something else. Hakon takes off at a run. Oh! Ludin is under attack. Clicking any tile will automatically make a path, but you can also set waypoints. Click once to make a waypoint. So they're showing you how to take specific paths along here. Helps you avoid certain tiles if you have a reason to. So Loon is currently being attacked by Dredge. Those creatures they talked about. Oh, and there is a corpse up there, which is always a bad sign. Spearmen can attack diagonally and up to 2 tiles away. Click the top right banner to compare your stats to the enemies. Now click the enemy target. This is bad. he's a 15-16, and I am a 10. I'm an 8-10. Armor blocks attacks on strength. For each enemy armor higher than your strength, there is a 10% chance the attack will be deflected. Notice the chance to hit shown above the enemy attack button. Attack this enemy's strength. I'm gonna miss, aren't I? Yep. Deflected attacks do no damage. From here on out, you will fail catastrophically if you don't break armor. Damaging both strength and armor is equally important. Well, that's not good. It's a tutorial, though. Now the big guys are here to wreck everything. Hakon's new. We haven't had a chance to use him yet. He has Sundering Impact. 100% chance to hit. +1 strength, +1 break to target, +1 break to heavy impact. Heavy impact. Adjacent enemies take 1 strength damage, so that's just like what we have over here, right? Yep. But he has Tempest, which is fun because it's the spinny attack. Let's see. Yeah, break target. Break target should be good because it should take out his armor, I think. Try to get my move in. Hello, new friend. I'm going to try to end you now. Less effective than I was hoping. Alright, here's Mogre. He's Bring the Pain. Getting hit triggers break damage to target. +1 return the favor for a round. Alright. But I can't really reach the bad guy from here, unfortunately. I think I just want to attract some attention. Can't actually use Bring the Pain from here. So I think I'll just stay put. I can't reach anybody as him. And neither could they. It's a good start. Alright. This guy is a problem. So let's work on his... Only 2 to armor. That's a bummer. Alright. Take a chunk out of that so we can start hurting him properly. Ow. His armor's clearly a problem. There we go. Now at the very least his armor is slower than my strength, but even my tough character is getting taken down, which is killing his ability to actually deal damage. That's bad. Hello? Oh, that's getting some attention. But we've broken down his armor a bit now. Yeah, my ability to damage is kind of crap right now. Even against these guys. Not good. So much for my big damage dealer, huh? Now he's so beaten down he's practically useless. But this guy, though... There goes this guy's strength, which significantly reduces the incoming damage for a lot of the sources at least. And yep, I'll be able to finish him off now. Yeah, let's get him before it gets a turn. Oh wait, that's actually counter to the strategy you should be using in this game. I weakened him, so I should actually be... The smart thing to do is actually to let him persist for a while, because he's kind of useless in his weakened state, and he eats up enemy turns. I'll have to remember that for future turns. Thankfully, I can beat straight through this guy's armor, because it's much, much lower than that guy's obnoxious, like, 14 or 16 or whatever he started at. Which significantly helps our chances here. Let's see. Kind of want him to keep going, honestly. Yeah, he'll be next turn. I'm gonna stay put. His turn should be next, and he should be really weak. There it goes. There we go. Now we'll weaken the other guy. Yeah, their ability to fight back is going to drop considerably now. I'm gonna go over here and target the tougher one again. That's exactly how to handle the situation. It was actually, yeah, it was a mistake to kill that guy when he was so weakened. There we go. Double kill. We get willpower added to the horn. Using the horn will give 1 willpower to the active ally. So that as we defeat enemies, we can just redistribute willpower from that top horn that showed up on the screen. I kind of shrugged it off for a moment because I was a little preoccupied. You trying to get yourself killed, Ludin? What are you doing? I was trying to get a shot in between the plates. You never seen a dredge before, boy? What kind of idiot? Break their armor first. Where'd they come from? We didn't even see them, they were just there. Hakon goes to find where Wagner lies face down. The future Varl king lies motionless, aside from a spreading pool of blood. Wagner's dead.